RPM Trade Vietnam and his bitch. Doing another live stream on my lunch break. Get it cracking. Always got some shit to talk about and discuss. What's strange to me? What up? What up, Angel? What up, Nanya? It's always strange to me that people don't notice the deception. Trey, have you seen what happened in where? Damascus? Nah, I did not see what was going on, Angel. What's going on there? It's always strange to me that people don't notice the deception, because sometimes the deception is kind of clumsy. It's almost kind of a almost like they're trying to give you a fair fight by telling you what it is that they're doing. There's always some foreshadowing. Before something happens, you can tell what the buildup is. You can even get a predictable follow-up action that you would expect from recognizing some delusion, where you can grow to expect certain things to follow if you don't catch on to the deception until after the fact. And once you realize that, you can be like, oh, well, that's what y'all was doing? Oh, you're gonna need to do this other shit will follow. Then you start looking to see if these things follow up. Because goddamn, they would much rather fool you and get you to fight yourself than for them to have to fight you head up. They're not gonna give you full disclosure of what's going on. They're not going to tell you that you're in a fight. They're going to do everything they can to keep you out of fight mode so that you don't fight their ass. So that way, when you do think that it's time to fight, they're going to already have all of your shit subdued so well that your fight will be futile. It'll be useless. Excuse me. It'll be useless for you to do that. Y'all got to be on the lookout for that, because isn't that the first casualty in war? They say is the truth. It's the first thing that they got to do to fuck shit up when you know you finna get into a war that warrants your attention, because of the outcome is gonna be to your detriment, man. Whenever that happens, man, you gotta know the first thing they have to do is to lie to you. They gotta confuse you about what the truth is, because in a state of confusion, you will either not recognize or fight, or you will be misguided in your attempts to fight something. They like that shit. They don't want you to fight them at all. They don't want to have to fight you. They're going to lie to you first. The thumbnail on this video is a $5 bill and a $100 bill. I wish I had a $1 bill to show y'all that. But I didn't have one at the time. I had the $5 bill and a $100 bill. But what's the difference between the two? Does anybody know what the difference is? And don't say $95. It's not the answer. What is the difference between that $5 bill on the thumbnail of this video and that $100 bill? It should be obvious to y'all if you have the mind of a crime scene investigator and you refuse to be lied to or played, and you expect for big ideas and big things to cover big grounds. So if you respect it in that way, then you would know that if the American dollar, the petrodollar, the world's reserve currency, blah, 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 if it's going to be all of that, that's a level of control that cannot even be obtained unless there's a certain level of deception inherent in whatever it is that we're talking about. So you should look for the deception, the discrepancies, the lack of freedom that you have about it. Who stands to gain the most in the money game? When you look at these things, you can start to grow a healthy distrust for the entire monetary system. They call it a root of all evil for a reason. That's absolutely true. Actually, it will be the motivation as a tool. It will be the motivation behind all of the worst things that humanity can bring upon itself, and it will be based on greed. It will be based on greed. You got to be greedy first. As soon as you're greedy, you might actually be capable and willing to do anything to your fellow man. Weird stuff, man, because we all know this to be true. You don't got to be religious. You don't got to be a real deep thinker. You just know how money is in general. But look into it a little deeper, though, because it's calling for you to do that because of how great of a tool this thing is when you talk about money. The story behind it has to be just as deep as what it is that you can recognize in its effects on the world. Jekyll Island, okay, 1912. These motherfuckers got together secretly while so many other of these fucking congressmen and other people were out of office for holiday. Late December, around New Year's and Christmas shit, motherfuckers out kicking and trying to be with their families and shit. A handful of motherfuckers took it upon themselves to forge for us a monetary system based on the practice of fractional banking, being controlled no less by guys who aren't even really truly American. Federal Reserve my ass. Y'all not federal. Y'all not even really American. Y'all a bunch of foreign bankers. And y'all really is running shit with that. Y'all not the top dog, but it is a big arm. It's a dangerous tentacle on this sea monster of bullshit. When you talk about maritime admiralty law, money, currency. They literally call it currency. They call a bank like the bank on the river. Like all of these words, none of these words are arbitrary. It's all tied together. Bankers don't rule the fucking world, but they are a fucking tentacle on this fucking monster that is necessary and it's doing something, and it includes everybody in this path of destruction. White skin don't save you from what this evil fucking petrodollar is doing, has been doing, where it came from, and what it plans on doing to the world. It is enslavement of everybody. You're not a slave just because you black, but you are still a slave. And when white folks can say, hey, well, at least I'm not a nigga, they don't even feel like they in prison, really. But they slaves too. So long as they got us, it helps them not see the big picture. White folks is being played. You think you better than me because you white in a country like this? Boy, this is a bloodline thing. If you still thinking that, just know the same motherfuckers that tried to poison my so-called black community with the crack and the heroin and all that bullshit, yeah, they hoping that the act of doing me like that and my peoples like that will make you say, damn, at least I'm not a nigga, while you are also being played, goofy. They don't give a fuck about you. It's a bloodline. If you ain't in the bloodline, they don't give a fuck about your white skin. Deception. They gotta fool you to get this shit. Look for the deception first and then counteract the deception. This is how you fight back without fucking shooting shit. You ain't gotta shoot shit. Expose them for being wrong when you see they wrong. Out their asses. And not just on social media. Get out in public and go, I see you. Because they don't take shit seriously through that fucking iPhone, just like you don't. Mr. Second Amendment advocate. Motherfuckers be Second Amendment advocates, and then I even talk to Second Amendment advocates. This I can tell that I'm a cut above most of them motherfuckers too. Because when I tell them, hey man, I dig the Second Amendment because I know what it is when you say that, and that's how I know we're on the same team. But that Second Amendment and that Constitution got us into an arena of debate about something that's undebatable, and for that I curse that shit. I wish it was never there. Just like it's not there or any other place, that regardless of this fucking claim of a fucking overpopulated planet, regardless of that claim, I could go have 100 fucking babies. There's no legislation to stop me from having 100 babies. But we're in a fucking overpopulation crisis. They haven't made it onto paper about how to regulate something very natural inside of a man as far as his reproductive practices. They don't got it on paper yet. So they know that they would sound silly trying to curb that shit. They would have to get it on the paper first. And then if they got it on the paper, all of a sudden, they would use fucking the law society and legislation to dictate your reproductive practices as a man. It sounds crazy because it ain't on paper yet. But if on paper, they would do it and not even see the insanity behind it. And the gun shit is the same way. I have a life, bro, and I'm here and I value this shit. The best thing that I can do to find a personal defense weapon to serve as the best protection that I think that I can hold as an individual to preserve my life. I get to put my hands on whatever the fuck I think that is for me. Meanwhile, all of you bitches running around scared about what the ATF gonna do to you, following fucking legal cases and shit. I stopped paying attention to the cases. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. The day the ATF come out here saying that they ready to smoke shit about that pistol brace, that's when they will see me. Until then, I'd never fucking set foot in a courtroom to discuss or debate any of that undebatable shit with them bitches. Fuck all of them. And if you can't see that, fuck you too. You're helping fuck the game up because they think there's legitimacy behind what it is that they're saying when they say, hey man, this Second Amendment is debatable. As soon as you give them legitimacy by praising their Constitution, you've agreed that it is debatable. So now they go on moving forward with debate, expecting for you to just join them in a debate instead of shooting at their asses. Don't act like the thought of having to fucking shoot somebody about your freedom is that fucking scary. It shouldn't be. One state might be willing to shoot at you about weed, while a neighboring state will not shoot at you about that weed. You can ask them for fertilizer recommendations for the plants you're growing. That's a glaring fucking contradiction of bullshit. Now, who the fuck is in tune with natural law and the Constitution in this contradiction between two states? Neighboring states. Who's right and who's wrong? Whoever's wrong should fucking pay. Today, everybody else's life is on the line, freedom and all type of shit, in the country that y'all want to call free because y'all can't get this fucking marijuana shit straight and consistent between neighboring states. Imaginary lines. Shut the fuck up talking to me, you pussy motherfuckers. Tell them to stop, or all y'all bitches. To me, all y'all some bitches. Give a fuck about no Second Amendment. Tell them to throw it out so we can get to what it is that they want to get to, that they realize that they got to tiptoe to get through that shit, or we might start smoking shit. They trying to creep on you. They need some of y'all to agree to not fight them when they pull the plug. Because they don't want to fight all of y'all head up. They need ample opportunity to fool you first. The fuck? They need time to fool you. They need you to put your heart on that Constitution, bro. So when they throw it out, you throw your fucking feelings out with it, and then you just allow them to do what it is that today you wouldn't allow them to do. 100 years ago, they wouldn't allow them to do. How could it ever fucking change through a courtroom if you agree that it's debatable? Oh my God. Second Amendment what? Don't talk to me about that stuff. I don't support that shit. I think it's going to be used to hypnotize a lot of y'all that we might need to get the freedom. Will be hypnotized, and you will throw yourself out of the way when it's time to go. Sexy dancing with these bitches. Come on, man. You're going to move yourself out the way, man, so you can remain a law-abiding citizen, because the law is the law, man. It's an amendment that's meant to be changed. This is what they told y'all. And look at y'all, right in line. Oh, I don't know what the ATF gonna do. I know what the ATF gonna do. They gonna die if they come out here about that pistol brace, and I ain't got to be the one to do it. For these sheriffs are worth anything, the sheriff gonna stop you. Huh? The sheriff gonna stop you. Y'all are funny, bruh. What revolution? Tell the sheriffs to get out there and fight all that revolution for us. I will back them up if they call on me. I shouldn't have to do shit. And they know it. That's why when they try to declare people as domestic terror, man, shut the fuck up. My sheriff's office gonna handle y'all. Huh. And if they need to call on me, so be it. I will answer the call for the sheriff. If the sheriff is gonna be smart enough, honorable enough to do their fucking part. The ATF can't come down here talking no dumb shit. And we know it would have been unconstitutional 100 years ago. It can only change if you get fooled. It doesn't change because they keep harping on the shit and they wrote it on the fucking paper and they got you goofy motherfuckers to agree to it. Nothing changed inside of me. The nature of a man changed because of something y'all wrote on paper. Man, my nature says I can protect my life with whatever I get my hands on. You can't win that in no debate. Absence of my presence, I wasn't even there, ATF. Kiss my dick. All y'all can go to hell tonight. Die. Please. I hope y'all all shoot each other. Hope y'all fucking all freak out on fentanyl or an acid trip and just shoot each other. Nobody survives. Fuck y'all. I don't want nobody to go to prison for hurting y'all or none of that shit. I'm never calling on that. That'd be sad, man, because a lone wolf shit and all that little petty shit isn't going to get us a revolution. So I don't want nobody to do nothing to no fucking ATF agent. That ain't going to get nowhere. You're just going to make it rougher for the rest of us, bro. I'm never saying to do that. I am saying, always saying, that is a dumb way to do shit. Lone wolf shit, stupid. They're only going to use that to write further legislation after they scared the fuck out of all these halfway would-be fucking revolutionary don't tread on me ass niggas that don't even really mean that shit. They'll cop out, get scared, feel bad for the fucking agent, blame everybody in the gun community for what one of them did, just like the fucking gun haters. You'll sound like them, and then you'll pass your shit up and give it up when they write it on the magical paper after the greatest fucking tragedies in these staged fucking shootings meant to scare you, to get you to say, yes, I will give up my firearm if you write it on a magical paper and you insist on it upon threat and coercion and all of this other shit with the $250,000 fine and the 10 years in prison for every single case that they can bring against you for every item in your house. Man, fuck all that shit, bro. All that shit scares y'all. That's what it's there for. They need to get you to fear, knee-jerk react to what it is that they got going on so they can do what? So they can create that pistol brace rule. And what happened? How many of you gun-loving so-called proud Americans ran to register your fucking AR pistol or your AK pistol as a short barrel rifle before they can even square their shit? They couldn't even square their shit away to call it legit. And what'd y'all do? Y'all ran the register to try to get ahead of the curve. All y'all just look like y'all agreed to them that was a short barrel rifle. Now they got signatures and compliance for a registration to build a foundation for a national registry by getting all of y'all knee-jerking motherfuckers, don't tread on me ass niggas, to do what? To agree with them by registering a pistol as a short barrel rifle so that they got all of that on file so they can say, then what the fuck you call all these short barrel rifle registrations of this pistol? What do you call that? Look how many people did this. The people do agree. This is what they want. That's what y'all look like. Y'all are some fucking bitches and I'm tired of it. That's what y'all get for jumping when they say jump. When the ATF came out with that pistol brace rule, knowing that they cannot make rules that are meant to be played out as law with punishment and fines and fees and shit attached to it without going through the proper networking to make these things law. They didn't do none of that. They just started talking shit all out the side of their fucking neck and everybody started fucking running to comply and appease these motherfuckers. That shit is dumb. And now y'all got a fucking registry of people who agree with the ATF that should be considered a short barrel rifle. Even on top of all that, let me show y'all how deeply the deception goes before I get out of here. Because y'all are extra stupid. You got to be stupid twice over to even fall for this. First y'all ran and did that, right? That's dumb. Y'all registered a pistol as a short barrel rifle. They got many examples now because y'all knee-jerk reacted to doing that, trying to comply. When they broke the law to even say that shit to us, we shouldn't even have taken them seriously. Y'all don't get that? Y'all weird. Y'all some pussies. Y'all look like pussies, bro. They know that they did that the wrong way. They got you to comply anyway. So now they think that they don't need to operate within the bounds of their oath of office or the Constitution or normal protocol. That they can just stand up and say stuff, and some of y'all will jump. And when it wasn't good enough, I don't know if they've ever come up with this. But I know I see it. Hopefully I didn't just give them an idea. But they got examples of how we agree that might be a short barrel rifle. That's the first fuck up. Second fuck up is that y'all let them name a short barreled rifle, calling it that as if the classification of it being short means that if I have that projectile or a firearm that's longer, I'm fine. I do not need to be addressed with such aggression with a tax stamp and all of that. But if the barrel's shorter, they need a tax stamp now. Y'all get fucked 3 times. I just came up with another one. So they got y'all to agree that short barrel rifle means that they have a right to regulate, which that don't even mean nothing. Calling it a short barrel rifle means nothing to me. Dancing purple rhinos means nothing to me. It's just gibberish. I just heard a bunch of words that y'all put together and tried to call it something. Call it a short barrel rifle. That still doesn't mean, now y'all can dictate that with the threat on my life if I don't comply, and then with fines and fees and a threat to fucking prison if I... No, I still don't get it. It still doesn't make any sense. Calling it a short barrel rifle doesn't automatically give you the power to then dictate over that. Call it that. I still don't understand where the fuck you coming from, thinking you can threaten me or that I need a tax stamp to even own this thing now. It's a protective device. It's not an assault weapon, it's a defensive weapon. That's what I use it for, and that's what I call it. Haven't assaulted anybody with it. And it will not assault anybody on its own. It's up to me. And I'm a 43-year-old fucking loving guy that never hurt nobody. So, fuck the bullshit. That's two, right? You know what the third one is? This is crazy. The third thing that y'all fucked up with all of this is that the fact that they broke the law to do all of this, to get y'all to actually comply anyway, has now come back full circle. That when y'all begin litigation, the litigation becomes whatever the foundation that they laid out based on all of these false definitions and shit becomes the foundation. Working your way backwards is almost impossible now. Nobody's even talking about that. Nobody's challenging the definitions that the ATF is giving these things and how they came up with this pistol brace rule. Now y'all are just trying to find a way to get out of the pistol brace rule through exemptions and other stuff. Y'all are totally complying with an unconstitutional act of tyranny right in front of me. Y'all are weird. I don't get y'all. I don't understand y'all. Why can't y'all just call this shit what it is and then go, as soon as it starts sounding like some shit that I don't like, then I'm gonna say I don't like it. And if the threat to what it is that we're examining, if the threat is high, then my reaction will be high. I'm going to react accordingly. Now, how serious is this? They were just talking about mandating shots in your kids, whether you liked it or not. And then you don't understand why you need a fucking gun for government. They fucking the border all up intentionally with plans to turn that into something. You see they fuck it up. If you know Gematria, you can look into that. If you see how much they playing this shit, then you can say, if y'all playing this, what are y'all going to do with this now that I see that this is here and that you did this intentionally? What could this lead to? Start looking into the future for it. That way when you see it happen, you go, I know you had to do that. I saw the setup. That was the conclusion. I said this shit 3 years ago, motherfucker. I knew you was going to do that. You're not surprising me. You pissing me off. Y'all don't do that to them. But you can, though. They're giving you all the steps right here. Get ahead of them. All of this shit leads to tyranny. It's that serious. So if you're not okay with that, stop supporting this bullshit gun shit that they put in front of you, including the Constitution. You could just tell them, ask them what they plan on doing if they were successful in getting this assault weapons ban and stuff. How do they think they're going to get it, and what is that going to lead to? Do they see themselves being successful in doing that? Rick James just put Zach's channel in the chats right there. Shout out to Rick James, a real soldier for the revolution, like somebody who understands. Y'all think being a soldier for a revolution means that you got to get out here and fight. You ain't got to do none of that. What I need you to do first and foremost is to respect yourself enough to insist on getting the fucking truth and to not be played or lied to by anybody. Damn sure not going to be threatened by anybody. If you do that, then hey, that's a good step. Get in the game. And then after that, you got to say that you're keeping your guns because you will smoke some shit at the evil motherfuckers, the bullies, that you looking right at. If they plan on doing what it is you see them doing, tell them you will shoot at them for that if it comes to it. You ain't got no problem with that, right? Do that shit. Tell them that that's what it is. If anything, they should say, hey, man, we not the bullies that you talking about. We on your side. You ain't talking to me. Yeah, fuck the bullies. Your administration won't do that. If you start telling tyrannical government that when you see them, you will shoot at them, they'll all get defensive because they know that you mean them. And they know that they fit the bill. They're not going to say, hell yeah, fuck that shit. Ain't going to be no tyrannical government on my watch. I'm in this bitch. I'm the trusted governor. I got your back. Where you see some tyranny at? I help you fuck them up. They don't do that. They don't do that shit. The Second Amendment, along with the rest of the Constitution, is a checklist. It don't save you from nothing and you know it. You can tell, because we got the Second Amendment, but we still fighting the ATF. Why they out here threatening people? Willy-nilly threatening people with 10 years in prison and all this other type of shit. That's dumb. It's a checklist, though, the Constitution is. When these things on this checklist go under attack and you are unsuccessful in legally addressing these things where politicians will not budge, they will not listen, then you need to be shooting shit because Nothing else is going to work if you're using illegal means and you're watching them break the laws and the rules right in front of you, and they do it willy-nilly in cases where if you fought them, they wouldn't have did it. But the fact that you did not fight them mean that the fucking problem persists in an illegal manner for them to triumph while breaking their oath. If those things happen, you have to know that shooting at them would have stopped it. Maybe that's what you should have did, and I don't know what the fuck else to tell you. I could have sworn that's what your founding forefathers told you. That's not what they told you? I must be mistaken then. RPM Trey Vietnam and this bitch Wu Bang, get a gun and tell all of the bullies, the foreign invaders, the game bangers, the home invaders, the tyrannical government. Tell them all that it ain't gonna matter what brought them to your doorstep. If they came to your doorstep for some bullshit when you ain't hurt nobody and they are comfortable with hurting you, maybe even killing you, then you also need to tell them that you will shoot back and you don't give a fuck what brought them to your door. I don't give a fuck about somebody who's capable of killing me in front of my kids as if they in the right, and they go, and then my family go, what did he do? What happened? Who did he hurt? And they go, nobody. We thought that his AR should have been this much longer, so we came here to shoot at this nigga if need be. We'll shoot at you about this much. This much metal on a barrel could be the difference between the ATF saluting you for being an armed citizen and them shooting at you as if you were a danger to society. It's not the round that you can fire. That's not it. It's not even how many guns you got. That's not it. They don't care about that. If that barrel is this shy of what they call regulation, and then you refuse to communicate with them about it, they will kill you in front of your kids on your birthday. They don't give a fuck. I don't either. I don't know why I should. Who would expect me to? Fuck y'all.